Well, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
And how are you both doing out there, dear listeners? I'm sure there's two of you by now.
What, 100% increase?
Yeah. I know,
we're
right?
so successful.
What can I say? We've grown as a podcast.
Exponentially.
Absolutely.
That's a very big word for the morning, actually.
Yeah, should we ramp it back a bit and use normal words that we can do?
Sorry.
Things I don't have to Google afterwards to check that they're not bad.
It's not bad. It just means exponential.
Lots.
Yes.
Many lots.
A steep improvement curve.
That will do. That's very managerial for this time in the morning.
Sorry. Can't help it. Can't help it.
Sorry, everyone. Well, welcome to the latest episode of You're Savagely.
Yeah, don't mind us.
Well, we're just going to sit here and chat. That's the whole point with this this podcast. I think.
Important issues of the day.
That's the words I was looking for.
Anyway, good morning.
Shall we start with tea, dear?
Shall we? Should I be mother?
Please do.
Oh, you're being a pre-lumparian.
Indeed. Do you pre or post lump, dear?
I sometimes no lump.
Would you care to lump today?
I think I need to today. I need some form of added energy, I feel.
It's definitely.
There we go.
Although you'll be seeing this through the magic of technology on probably a Sunday evening, it's actually Saturday morning right now, and we need that sugar boost, don't we?
Is it the morning after the night before for you?
Not for me, no. I had a relatively early night last night. I was in bed about 11. It's relatively early for me.
That is indeed very early for you.
And there was no gigging or anything last night.
Are you sure? Are you okay?
I might need to see a specialist, but I think I'm all right.
Yeah. You'll get through this.
I will.
Nothing a nice cup of tea won't solve.
Absolutely.
Let's be British about this.
Thanking you. Cheers.
Oh, that is nice though.
Ah, lovely.
I do have an offering.
Oh, what do we have today?
We have the morning hobnobs.
Because Ava loves a morning.
I like a morning knob, I do. And these are Le Petit Beurre, which is French butter biscuits.
Lovely.
They're a bit scrummy.
I love a French butter biscuit.
They look like me. They're kind of, actually, they don't look like me, really. They are a lot like me, though, apart from the fact that I'm not a biscuit and I'm not square and there's nothing about me that's flat.
But apart from that, you could be twins.
Apart from that, they deliver more than you think.
Right.
They are delicious.
Like it. They are nice. I have experienced these before.
Wow.
I'm a big fan.
I'm a big fan too.
Awesome.
And clearly comparable to a biscuit.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
It's a biscuit twin.
Yeah. Do you drown them?
It's got to be done, isn't it?
It does. I don't think my mother approved of dunking.
No?
But I do. And I feel like, as a generation, we've progressed.
Yeah. I think we are a generation of dunkers, aren't we? The Generation X is very much that sort of dunking generation.
Biscuits, donuts, enemies.
You name it. Anything. Yeah. Anything.
Yeah, you name your enemies. I'll dunk them. Oh, that is quite nice, actually.
Well, on the subject of Frenchness, years back, I did an and dunking rolled into one.
Oh, my word.
And it's nothing to do with dunking French people. I'm disappointed. We're not complete savages all the time.
Not all the time.
But I observed the weirdest thing. Dunking buttered baguette in a morning cup of tea. I know the indignation on your face says it all.
Mm,
I didn't know where to look.
I'm not surprised.
It was more polarizing to see than walking into your parents' bedroom on a Sunday morning when you really shouldn't have done. You just didn't know where to look. It was terrible. It, wa- I was just sat there, and it was freshly battered baguette being dunked into a cup of black tea.
That's so weird.
It's it doesn't bear thinking about, really, does it?
No, but those French people have a lot to answer for.
I know. I know. It was because I didn't have the energy to feel effervescent and colourful this morning.
No.
I just thought, you know what?
Well, that's because you gig daily.
It has been a bit of a silly week, to be fair.
Yes.
It's been a bit of a silly week. I found myself in Bristol on Tuesday night for part of the Bristol Comedy Festival. Absolutely great evening, wild. I want to gig like that at least a couple of times a year because it is just so insane. It was a night they call King Street Takeover. So it's an area of Bristol that's all pubs and restaurants and venues and things like that. And they line up a whole bunch of comedy events. Each venue has like 2 comedy events with a bit of a break in between. And you have 40 to 50 comedians, some of which have been booked specifically for various places, and everyone else gets sort of filled in around the edges. Not filled in, but,
No?
fill
don't know what you
the
mean.
show in. So there was, started off at the first one. As soon as I did that, you're literally out the door, off the stage, out the door, across to the next venue, do a 5-minute set there. You're looking at the chat group all the time. So you're like, right, I've just come on stage. Where do you need me next? Or there'll be a list of, right, we need people here, here, here. I came off my second set, and it was, we need an MC at this venue for the next hour. And it's like, luckily the venue was 2 doors away. So I did a 10, then a 5, then an hour of MCing, and then jumped on the last slot at the first place I'd been at, and did 5 minutes to finish. And it was draining.
Mm.
So much fun, though.
Yeah.
So much fun. And got to catch up with loads of great comedians and great friends from the Southwest. Weren't many Welshies there. There was myself and Ben Pugh and Paul Hilliard, maybe a couple of others. And then absolutely tons of Bristol and Southwest comedians, which is great fun. So yeah, that was a bit of a night.
Yeah.
Then I was back down in Bristol Wednesday night, also part of the comedy festival. It was the LGBT new material night at Seamus O'Donnell's, which is a fun little venue. It's an Irish theme bar / gay bar.
Oh.
Irish themed gay bar is a bit of a juxtaposition of genres, really, for me.
Yes.
The first time I went there, I thought, I can't work it out, to be honest. But fun. So much fun. Such a fun gig. And it was very full as well. There was a good crowd in there. So that was a whole lot of fun. And then hosted my own night in Barry then, something nice and on my doorstep.
Yes.
So yeah, that was good. But Wednesday was a big anniversary gig for me.
Yes.
It was my 150th gig. And then yesterday was actually my 1-year anniversary in comedy. So,
congratulations.
So I ended up with 151 gigs.
That's amazing.
In my first year, which was mad.
Mm.
I thought, it might be fun to do 100. That could be cool.
Yeah. You were always going to break that barrier. I don't think I've counted.
A lot of people
Sometimes
don't.
people say, how many have you done? You go, I don't know. No idea.
I know a lot of people don't. I like to. I'm very, very OCD with things like that.
Mm-hmm. I'm more CDO.
Yeah, you have to alphabetize it.
I do like to alphabetize it because it's important that things are in the right order.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can't have things out of place, can you? Which is the whole point, isn't it?
But, sometimes, and I was thinking about it earlier today, how I feel now about gigs and how I felt when I first started. And I used to get really, really nervous that I might forget my lines or whatever. I don't get nervous about that. Sometimes I get nervous that I might say the wrong thing or offend somebody. And then I remember that I'm a woman in her 50s. I don't give a damn anymore.
That's fair.
Yes. And I do feel people have the right to be offended, and I have the right to not give a damn.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
I think that's what comedy
Yeah.
should be about to a degree. There are levels of it, let's be honest.
Yeah, I go out of my way to not be unkind to anybody.
Yeah.
Which is why I can't do roast battles. I simply can't do them. They're hilarious. And I'm devastated that I didn't think of doing a roast battle on Burns Night, because that would have been so
That
good.
would have been perfect.
I know.
Next year we'll put it in.
But I can't do it. I can't be so mean to people. I'll say something, I'm really sorry. I'm like the world's worst Karen, you know?
Yeah, I can do that. That's the thing. I do enjoy doing that.
Oh, I've seen you and Sean Fisher. Hilarious, but brutal.
And Ben Pugh as well. Me and Ben Pugh.
I haven't seen that one.
I'll show you that after.
Okay.
That was brutal. And the best thing was we did it again a week later at my gig in Barry.
Yes.
Just because he was closing it, and we thought, why not? Let's do it. We agreed to this before the day, and on the day, then his mum, his sister, a load of family and friends all rock up to watch him. And
oh no!
So I was like, are we still doing this? His mum was in the front row, and a lot of my things were a little bit mum-centric, you know. So that was fun.
Yes. Did she forgive you?
Mildly uncomfortable. She did. She was very, very gracious about it. It was mad. It was a funny evening. That. But yeah, I do like them. I like all the different formats of comedy that take you out of your comfort zone a bit. You know, it's okay. Roast battle doesn't take me out of my comfort zone, maybe, but some do. Like your gong competitions. Yeah,
that can be fun.
They're good fun. Try and just kick out as much as you can in 5 minutes without getting buzzed for being rubbish. Roasts we've touched on. All the different little formats of things. The Ministry of Absurdism the other week was fun.
Yes.
For just trying something completely out of the box. There's so many different things people do and play about with. I know in the comedy festival in Bristol last night, I didn't go, but they had a talent competition for comedians, and it was get up, do 5 minutes, but it's not allowed to be comedy. I thought that was brilliant. What a great idea that was.
Yeah.
You know, comedians got talent.
Or do they?
Or not.
Yeah. I did Ministry of Absurdism when I'd only just started. I think it must have been, less than 7 gigs in. I don't know which. And I got heckled by this lady who she had several empty wine bottles on her table. And the theme was philosophy. So I was saying that the statement, I think, therefore I am, is the stupidest suicide plan ever, because when you try and stop thinking, therefore you stop being, was the premise of what I was saying. And then I talked about hysteria as well. And I added a little historical nugget that people used to think that this was sort of hysteria was related to people with wombs. And if you had a uterus, then you could go mad with hysteria. And, then that had to be fixed. And this woman stood up and she said, that's not true. And I said, well, that bit was true. I might have made up some of the other stuff, but that bit was true. And she had a bit of a slanging match with me. And I was a bit stunned because I hadn't dealt with hecklers before. But anyway, she calmed down. And then her friend came to see me and said, oh, thank you for not being so mean to her, as some of the others had been. And, she said, oh, she's just going through a thing. And I was like, well, she could go through a thing without interrupting my set. But never mind, live and learn.
It's done.
Yeah. And then the week after that, I was back at Elysium and this woman was back. I know. I was like, oh, no. And very early in my set, I was talking about living in an area in Swansea, which is a bit dodge. And I had lived there for over 2 years. And I had some interesting things happen while I was there. But one of the things that happened, which I thought was hilarious, was I'd driven up to my home and it was about 20 past 4 in the afternoon. And there was a little fox sitting in the middle of the road, stoned out of his mind. I mean, the atmosphere there, where the area I live, people used to think that the fire service would come and set fire to the houses to get a free high because the air was thick with drugs. It's ridiculous. I do not know how it's such low hanging fruit. Why are they not constantly raided? But anyway, so there's this little stoned fox sitting in the middle of the road. And I stopped my car and I looked at him because he was so adorable. And the next thing, this bunch of cats came and beat him up. So I talked about this and I said, I thought that was the most Town Hill thing I'd ever seen. And I said, does anybody live in Town Hill? Oh, other areas are also as disreputable. I don't know. And this woman said, I live in Town Hill. And I went, no, darling, we don't tell people we live in Town Hill. You never tell people you live in Town Hill unless you moved there from Penlan, which I thought was a nice little dig at people from Penlan, some of whom I've fallen out with pretty spectacularly for reasons beyond my understanding.
I have no idea.
I don't know. I think they thought I was up myself, which I think is anatomically difficult to achieve, and I should be proud of that.
It is. And I believe there's a place in the circus for people like that.
Oh.
Contortionists, I believe they're called.
I should look into that.
Yeah, look into that, definitely.
Look into that.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. So this woman said, are you dissing Town Hill? I said, no, I'm just telling you the fox was stoned in the middle of the afternoon. He had no idea he's nocturnal. No idea. And then these cats came and beat him up. And I thought it was the most Town Hill thing I'd ever seen, but it wasn't. And she goes, are you dissing Town Hill? I said, no, wait. I said, these cats were just parking off in the middle of the road thinking, yeah, we showed him. And a bunch of seagulls came and beat the cats up. Town Hill seagulls, not to be messed with. And in fact, I had an Akita at the time called Mika, and she was like this tall. She was really big, fluffy, like a bear. And a seagull yelled at her once, and she cried for about an hour. So that tells you about these seagulls. They are rough.
Badass.
Yeah, they are badass. Although Mika looked badass, but wasn't. Yeah. But the seagulls don't look that badass. Although I don't know if you catch their eye.
I don't tend to look too hard at the seagulls.
You should, particularly if you have chips. Then you're in. Yeah. But anyway, or
Or
drugs.
Or drugs, yeah.
Yeah, Town Hill seagulls. Yeah. Don't mess with them. Anyway, so this woman at this point decided that I'd talked enough about her beloved Town Hill. And she stood up and went to physically get at me on the stage. And a bunch of guys subdued her, I think is the polite word.
Yes.
And dragged her out while she was dragging her heels, yelling as she was pulled past me, you're not even racist. And I was like, I don't think that's the burn you think it is. Anyway, the organizer went outside and then came in carrying 3 shoes that someone had left on the door. I was just like, Swansea in it.
Yeah.
It's mad. Great place to live, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't live in Town Hill anymore.
Yeah.
I live in Manselton, which is fractionally better.
It's all about the increments, isn't it?
It is about the increments. I liked that I could park my car in Town Hill right outside my house. I really liked that. But I came out one morning and all 4 of my tires had been slashed. And there was a little boy sitting on the fence. And he said to me, I've got a message for you, Ava. And I was like, oh, I think I've received the message. Thanks. And he said, no. The guy that cut your tires told me to tell you sorry, but your car's the same as the other guy who lives around the corner. And he thought it was his. So he's like, sorry about that. So you're like, don't worry about it. I was like, don't worry about it. How am I supposed to get this car to flipping Quick Fit? Other tire providers are available. How am I supposed to do that? Okay.
Welcome back.
Well,
Cheers.
cheers, my dear.
I think I might have to take a leaf out of your book now and have a morning knob.
Everyone needs a morning knob. It's just the rules.
Absolutely. They may not want one, but they need one.
Yeah, I've had those days.
Actually, yeah, we won't go down. That could be a bit
No, we won't go
problematic.
down
isn't it?
that route. It's best.
Yeah.
Best not maintain our dignity for once.
Absolutely. There's a first for everything, isn't there?
We'll try and get some dignity first and then maintain it, which I feel that we missed out the important first step there.
One day, maybe.
One day. We can but dream.
We will attempt, dear listener, viewer, whichever you are, to get some dignity at some point.
Yes. I'm not sure it's going to work out.
I'm not going to put much effort in, to be honest.
I will put enormous effort into getting some dignity. I've had a lot of babies though, and that they tend to rob you of your dignity, and then you never quite get it back. You know, the moments of raising children, you walk around covered in sick and things like that. I'm not over it, although most of my children are grown and left the house. I do still have a teenager, and she's pretty brutal. She is. I asked her for a review to put on my posters because I didn't have enough people to give me a good review, you know. So I asked my daughter, one of the people who's most important in my life.
Absolutely, yeah.
Love the most.
Yeah.
Love the most. And you know what she said? She's not funny. So I put that on my poster.
There is another review
Hello,
of
Luna.
yours that I absolutely love dearly.
Yes.
And I believe, apologies if I don't get it word for word, great baker, terrible person, Ava's neighbour.
Fabulous baker, actually. I think
Fabulous,
she said,
sorry.
because I do like to put sparkles on the cakes I give away.
Oh, absolutely.
Got to be fabulous.
What's a free cake without sparkles?
Cake.
Less sparkly cake, yeah.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't a tough question, if we're honest.
It wasn't really, was it?
No. But yeah, reviews are wonderful. But sometimes you wonder what they were trying to say, you know. I've had some people saying an authentic storyteller. I'm like, that's very nice, but it's not what I was going for. I was going for drop dead funny.
Yeah. Bloody hilarious is what we were going for, isn't it?
A great storyteller. I mean, it's nice.
It is.
Makes me sound like a liar, though.
But then I feel sometimes that feedback is needed to make us up our game.
Yeah, maybe.
So I remember sitting at this very table with you a few months ago with a whole new thing I'd written up, about 5 pages.
Oh.
And I sat and I read it all back to you. And you said, that's really good. It's a lovely story. It's well written. It's got a great kind of end to it. It ties it in. It's a good message. It's not really comedy though, is it?
I'm sorry.
And no, it's what was needed, because I took it away.
You did.
And
yes.
have made it at least mildly amusing now.
Yeah, it's a lot sharper.
So,
I think it was 4 pages of narrative.
Yeah.
And I think I said to you, if this was for a podcast or something like that, it's ready.
Yeah.
Ready to go. It's an amusing story, really entertaining. But I'm not sure it works as stand-up yet.
Yeah.
And you took out all of the sentences you didn't need and made it sharp and funny. But that's the skill of stand-up, isn't it? And every good mentor that I've ever spoken to, you know, people like Sarah Bridgman and Ben Aaron and Rob Hughes and all these people, they say the same thing, which is write it down, take out all of the words you don't need. And Bennett worked with me on my Brazilian Husky joke because I was up for a competition and you had 2 minutes. And my whole Husky story took 1 minute. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I can't get enough funny stuff in there. And I worked with Bennett on my set. And I said, I really want to tell my Brazilian Husky story, which is that I got a dog and she's a Siberian Husky and she's a rescue dog. And I had to take her to the vet because she was really poorly and they shaved her belly. And now she's a Brazilian Husky. I love it, but it takes far too long to get to that point.
Yeah.
And now when I deliver that line, it usually comes because I'm saying I'm a really good person. I'm saying I'm a really good person and I love animals. I've got a rescue dog. And she's a Siberian Husky, but I had to take her to the vet. They shaved her belly. Now she's a Brazilian Husky. The whole line is done within 15
Oof.
seconds.
Yeah.
And I get the same laugh.
Yeah. That, as you say, that's the skill and the art of it. I remember early on there was a couple of jokes I'd written, which one of them was about 2 minutes. It was about 2 minutes and a couple of little entertaining bits in there, but it was a good 2.5 minutes. And one person in particular said to me, "Far too long for the payoff. It's far, far too long." And she still cringes to this day when I do that joke. And it's Sian Fisher.
She's
Lovely,
great
lovely
for
Sian.
feedback.
She is so good for that because she's very much, did you have enough laugh for how long it was? And
She's
that
very
sort of thing.
experienced.
And I took it away and I've compressed that into under a minute now. We've taken out all the bits I thought were nice additional funny bits. I've just gone boom, boom.
Yeah.
And you just take it and go, all right, what don't I need? And when you start thinking about how long you get for a set, early days, you're going to get 5-minute sets. Do I want to tell a 2.5 minute stories?
Mm.
Or do I want people to laugh constantly for 5 minutes until they hurt?
Yeah. But actually, you can do both.
You can do that.
Because I've got some stories that I tell. If I've got 5 minutes, I often tell a story about Psycho Dave. And I usually start it by saying, Psycho Dave, when I met him, he was just called Dave.
Yeah.
And that always gets a really good laugh. It is one of my favorite lines that I've ever written.
Yeah.
It was one of my early lines.
Yeah.
But it never fails because when you're telling a story, you would say, well, I met this guy and he was called Dave. And then I realized he's just crazy. He did all of this stuff and I was really traumatized. So now I call him Psycho Dave. In comedy, you need none of the context.
Yeah.
The audience is willing to go with you straight to the point.
Yeah.
So I met this guy called Dave. Well, when I met him, I met this guy, Psycho Dave. When I met him, he was just called Dave. Tells the entire story.
Yes.
And you don't need any more.
Yeah.
And then I would go on and say other things about him. I do look forward to the day Psycho Dave's in the audience and knows this is about him. Because he's so vain that he will know that it's about him. He's that narcissistic.
Apologies, Carly Simon.
Yeah, no, Carly Simon got it right about this guy. But his behavior was so appalling. And this is the beauty of comedy. I emerged from that relationship thoroughly traumatized, re-traumatized actually, because as a lot of us do, we make the same mistakes in subsequent relationships that we make in our early relationships. And I had done this with this guy. I'd gone out with him, not realizing how crazy he is. And I was really stung by what happened. Now, I have recontextualized the entire thing in my head. I laugh my ass off every time I think of Psycho Dave.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I think that's the beauty of it. It's so cathartic.
It is.
And it's therapy. So many comedians, particularly newer ones, will reference, I decided I'd do comedy because I can't afford a therapist.
Yes.
It's a standard thing, isn't it? We all say it, whether it's in a set or to each other or anything else. We say that it's cheaper than therapy, isn't it?
Yes.
And I've done the same thing. Only recently I've managed to make one of the bits from it work properly. And it's great. I talk about ex-girlfriends and, the fact that I always said I never had a type. I've realised now in my older age that I do have a type. It's nutters. That's my type. And, I go on to say about a couple of exes. And there's one I could never get to work, never get it to work properly. And now I've done it. And when I tried it out the other day for the first time, amazing. It went really well. I thought, finally, I've got it. But yeah, it can take so long. You've got to shelve those jokes sometimes, not
You
forget
do.
them. But I think we've all probably got a stack of paper or books or voice notes or
Oh, yeah, we
failing
all do.
memory.
Tiny screwed up napkins in the bottom of the handbag that you've
Yeah.
scrawled things down on.
I've written stuff on Rizzler packets before now.
I don't. That's a really
Um,
good reason to take up smoking.
Absolutely. Always got something to write on.
Yes,
They're a little bit thin, but you know,
can never be
you can
too
stick them
thin.
together and,
Yeah.
and sort of just concertina it out.
I mean, I
So
could just get a notebook. It is probably cheaper in the long run.
in the long run, yes. For the amount of words you can get on a stack of Rizzler papers,
Yeah,
a notebook is better.
yeah. It's probably better for my health, if we're honest.
Absolutely. But you don't have to smoke. You can just buy Rizzlers.
Yeah.
Look, lovely story about Rizzlers from Wednesday night. Absolutely true story. I was stood outside Seamus O'Donnell's in Bristol with the lovely Claire Fitzgerald, and we were having a smoke before the gig. And this guy sort of stopped by us. He said, is there a corner shop anywhere close? And Claire said, I think if you go down that alleyway, turn right, there's a corner shop down there. He said, brilliant, I'll have a look now. I said, do me a favour. If there is one, can you come back and tell us? Because I need to nip down and get some Rizzler. I finished my cigarette. I went inside, just getting my stuff ready. Claire came in and said, I've got a present for you. That guy had come back from the corner shop and bought me a pack of Rizzler.
Oh, what a lovely, lovely thing to
What
do.
a lovely thing. It's silliest of things. But it's lovely. It's heartwarming, isn't it? It's
there are
so
some
funny.
good people in the world,
There
aren't
are, there are. And
Bristol's full of them.
I love Bristol. I love Bristol
Yeah.
so much. I've spent so much time there the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
And yeah, I try and do at least 1 or 2 gigs there a month if I can, because Bristol comedy crowd are lovely. I've got
Yeah.
some great friends down there that I've made, and they're so good. There's so
Yes.
much talent condensed into Bristol
Yes.
across
And
the
the
board.
audiences are lovely there
The
as well.
the audiences are so broad-minded and accepting and cosmopolitan, for want of a better term. I suppose.
Yeah, I think
There's
so.
a bit of everything going on.
Yeah,
there.
they're very giving.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, I've had some really fun gigs in Bristol. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not very good at recording them though. I don't know why. I've got very few.
I think it's a common thing that none of us are very good at recording our best gigs.
I know we miss them.
The amount of times, come on, God, that's one of the best gigs I've had. And then you think,
I
we didn't
know.
record it. Theatre gigs,
Yes.
different. You know, you do.
They're very hard to record.
They're so difficult to record. But then they're the pinnacle of. That's why you record all the other gigs, aren't they?
Maybe.
You record the other gigs and watch them back. So when you do a theatre gig, you get on a pro bill or anything else, you've done all that background to it, and you know you're going to go up there and
Yes.
hopefully do a decent job.
Yeah, I think I like that I do theatre gigs, but they're not my favourite gigs to do because you're so removed from the audience that it's really difficult. And I've realised that I rely very much on feedback from the audience, being able to see their faces, seeing a joke land, drawing them into what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I loved doing, it was one of Gareth Morris' gigs in, I forget where because he does them all over West Wales, but it was one of his tavern gigs. And there was a very young couple at the front with their parents. And of course, a lot of my sets really risque.
Yeah.
And I kept doing it as if I was telling this girl about life. And her face, she was loving it, but she was in front of her parents. And I say some pretty appalling things. One of the things I say is that I'm a classy lady, which means I like the good things on the menu. And if you're going to spend above £20, you're going to have to touch it. Now, of course, I don't use any foul language, but that's what I say.
Yeah.
And then I look at this young girl and I go, I'm sorry, but you need to know this. Someone needs to teach you this. Like I was raised by boomers and they told me this. And now I have to impart this wisdom to you. And the mother's like, no. I'm like, yes, you have to know. You can't just order the expensive things. There's payback.
Yeah.
And I know what I'm saying is the opposite advice to what I give my daughters, but fair play. She's in a seat in a comedy gig. She's going to get the good stuff.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. 100%. Yeah,
I'm sorry, darling. I was joking. Okay.
I find I love being on floor level
Yeah, it's so good.
more than being on a stage. Being on a stage, you do feel isolated,
Mm,
but you're also looking out at a lot of people.
yes.
I did the gaff in Bristol the other week. About 150 people. The stage is literally this tiniest little semicircular box, about so tall,
Yes.
just enough to raise you up a bit. You don't have to. There's plenty of floor space if you want
Yes.
to get on the floor or whatever. It's almost perfect layout from in my mind,
Yes.
because you've got that little bit of a raised platform. You can look around, you can see everyone, and you command a bit of a eyes on you sort of feel.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it was my Stake Town Hall for Chris Davis. You're on ground level,
Yes.
but it's raked seating.
Yeah.
It's a weird combo, but it's so much nicer
It
being on
is.
ground level. And Furnace Theatre as well is similar,
Yeah.
with his tables on the floor and then the raked seating. It's amazing. There's something about being grounded. I feel, that if you're on that ground level, you feel that you're letting the audience in more.
Yeah,
You're
it's
part of
somewhat more
them.
intimate.
So
Yes.
you could just be having a chat down the pub with these
Yes.
people, which
Although the lights, when you're in the theatre, the lights in your eyes and that adds a little bit of distance. But
yeah,
I think my favourite Funhouse, which I don't think you've done
I
because
haven't
it's
done
Derby
Funhouse. No,
and around there. It's just fantastic. It's the stage is literally in the middle of the audience, and it is only a raised step, which I quite like, because what I don't like is when they have a really tall step and I've got to take a run up on the crutches. It's less dignified. And as we know, I'm looking for dignity these days.
Absolutely, everywhere you can find it.
Which is not many places. So, and that's great. I mean, it's a little difficult because there's always, wires and all of that sort of stuff. And as somebody who's on the crutches, who got on the crutches by being spectacularly clumsy, there's always a risk of mortal injury. But that's okay. I will take that risk for my art.
Absolutely,
because
we
I'm
must
a
suffer.
martyr.
We must suffer for our art.
We
sometimes.
must. Well, not too much, I hope.
No.
But I love how they set up at Funhouse their little stages. You are surrounded by the chairs. You've got to get through the chairs to get to the stage.
Brilliant.
And when I turn up with my crutches, it makes them go, oh, hang on a second. She's going to actually have to navigate this tiny aisle we've left.
Yeah. I love walking on. I was going to say entering through the audience then, but that could be misconstrued.
It does sound weird.
I do love walking through the audience to get to the stage over coming in from the wings.
Yeah, I did that in St. Clair's, again, a Gareth Morris gig. And the room was really long. So he did the Gareth thing where he goes, welcome to the stage, Ava da Costa Maya. At this point, I start walking from the other end. Okay. And I got halfway to the stage and I thought, this is a really awkward silence. So I had to start my set before I got to the front. I was like, I'm really sorry. I'm doing my best. If I go any faster, I'll fall over in a tangle of limbs. And then I got to the front and people were ready. They're such a nice audience. They were already ready to really laugh at me.
Oh, that's good.
And then I told my Swansea joke about Swansea being a bit of a rough area, because I said that we know Swansea's a nice place because it has a library, but we know it's a bit rough because there's a sign in the library that says "Shut them up."
Yeah.
And there was one table that was helpless after this joke, and I thought that was quite a nice joke, but I didn't think it was that good. But I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take. You do.
I think so. Sometimes it's that build up to it, though.
Sometimes, but actually, on this case, I was just really lucky because they were a table of people who worked in the library.
Oh, brilliant! That's perfect.
I came to see me after and said, actually, we work in the library.
And we're going to get one of those signs next week.
So you heard it here first.
Brilliant. No, I love doing that. When I walk through the audience. Obviously, I have my entrance music. I take that walk through. I slowly get the mic, move the stand, and take that time before delivering anything, because I like to see how much of a laugh I can get without doing anything. It's not
Yeah.
that I do things
Mm.
in a funny way. It's just
Yeah.
purely, it started happening because people pick up on what the entrance music is. They then have enough time to take me in, and suddenly they start connecting the dots
Yes.
and they find it hilarious.
Yes.
And then when I just stand there looking a bit awkward, sort of looking around the audience, that also got a bit of a laugh. So I thought, oh, we're keeping that.
Yes.
So by the time you're opening your mouth for the first time, you're 99% certain that your first joke, no matter what it is going to land.
Yes.
And it's part of the craft, I think. It's just learning those little bits. And again, watching everything you do back and watching the crowd reaction to certain things. I've got some jokes that are 50-50. They either get rapturous applause or nothing.
Yes.
But I'm not stopping using them because
No.
of the rapturous applause.
If it depends how many jokes you've got in a minute, I think.
Yeah.
If you've got a couple that don't land, but you've got 5 that do, then you're fine.
Yeah.
And you don't need to worry about them. And I learned this actually when I was doing a showcase. So it was just me for, they said 45 minutes to an hour, as long as people are still laughing. And I thought, great, because I obviously find myself fascinating. I can do this for hours.
Yeah.
Right. So I halfway through, I realized there was one table of 4 people that was just not laughing. And I tried my best. And I think when I was less experienced, I would have been really floored by that.
Yeah.
But I got to the point in my life, I'm a lady of an age, and I just thought, well, everybody else is laughing. So, fine,
Yeah.
leave it then. I'm not going to play
Exactly.
to you. I'm going to play to all these other people who are laughing. And they did, I did quite well, actually, not to toot my own horn, but it was lovely. It was great fun. They were a fantastic audience. Everybody laughed. And afterwards, a lot of people came to me. They wanted to say, I like it when they do that. When they want a selfie with you, you're like, I'm looking as good as I can look. I'm happy to have a photo with you. And it's like the new autograph, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't tend to sign things now, but you'll take a selfie. So a lot of people came and asked. And then somebody from this table came over and I said, how are you? Did you enjoy it? And she said, well, if I'm going to be honest, and I thought, oh my God, here it comes. She went, we haven't got our hearing aids in.
I love that.
I was like, oh, bless. I said, did you enjoy your dinner, though? She said, oh, the dinner was lovely. And, and it was fantastic. But yes, I felt a little better after that.
Yeah, it is encouraging. My mum and dad rarely but occasionally come to my gigs. Hopefully they come and see me on Friday, which will be only the 3rd gig they've been to of mine.
Okay.
And every time they're very much, I had to turn my hearing aid down or off at a certain point, and I didn't hear much after that. Yes. So I'm like, oh, that's fine. But they'll laugh anyway.
I would say rely on the transcripts, but have you seen the transcripts from our podcast? They are so inaccurate. It's hilarious.
Awful. It's so laughable. If you want to turn on the captioning when you're watching it back on YouTube, it is fantastic. If the sound wasn't bad enough on the pilot, the subtitles make it even worse.
Yes. Basically, I would like to use a disclaimer at this point. Whatever it says we said, we didn't say.
I was about to say similar. I was going to say I'd like to make a disclaimer at this point. We were not on drugs.
No. Well, not.
Well, not.
I'm on some drugs.
Yeah.
But not that kind of drugs.
But not that kind of drugs.
My drugs are not recreational.
No.
Except one. It's all mine. Yeah, that's funny.
Right. We'll take a little break and we'll be back with you in a moment.
Yes. See you later. I don't always lump my tea.
I'm going to go with another one of these delightful little French offerings.
Yes, they are delightful, aren't they? As are we.
Absolutely. An absolute delight. Cheers, dear.
Cheers. Oh, very nice too.
Oh, lovely. Perfect.
I don't know if I told you, but I've been looking for a day job.
Yes.
Well, I've discovered that autocorrect is my enemy.
No one likes autocorrects, do they?
Well, I mean, I thought I'd had the worst ever autocorrect before because I was working for a transcription company where I would type up medical reports and then send them off. Because as you know, I'm disabled. It's really hard for me to find a job.
Yeah.
And this was something I could do at home. And I was so careful with my transcription. Everything was perfect. And I was really careful. I attached it correctly. I put the email address on. I thought, this is all fine. This is all good. Wrote the body of the email saying, here's your transcription. Happy with it all. I thought, right, time to send. So I wrote, all the best, Ava. And that sentence, all the best sentence, is a big word for that. That little phrase is what autocorrect attacked. And it went from all the best, Ava, to lick the beast.
Lick the beast.
Lick the beast. Lick the beast, Ava. I've never asked that woman for work again. And I thought that was as bad as it could get. I thought it was as bad as it could
Okay.
get. It's not.
Okay.
Okay,
I wait
because
with bated breath.
yeah, I did the same thing this last week. I wrote to a recruiter. I said, I see you've got this position, senior management. I'm ever so qualified, and I'm ever so good at doing stuff. But I'm not doing anything at the moment, and I'm not using my really rather stellar qualifications that I'm very proud of. So I feel bereft at the lack of a job. And I'm applying for anything. Although I did fail the McDonald's entry exam. Anyway, it's because I'm too fine for a place like that, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I'd probably burn the fries if we're going to be honest. I'm
Yeah.
not that good at it. Anyway, moving on. So I wrote to this recruiter and I attached my CV, which has been revised, analyzed, and reviewed. And I wrote my email, which is pretty standard, copied and pasted from a lot of them. And then I wrote, Dear recruiter, I would like to be considered. Wrote everything, sent it, and then I realized what it all corrected to. I would like to be violated. I sent that. I sent that.
Oh, no.
And then I had to try and recall it as you do in a panic, and it didn't work. And I had to write and say, I'm really sorry about the autocorrect. Please disregard.
I would still like a job, but don't violate me.
I don't wish to be violated if that's all the same.
Amazing.
Oh, it's so bad.
I've had a few close run things, and I'm super aware of autocorrect never doing its job properly, and the amount of times I know people who have done it. People have closed an email with kind regards
Yes.
and hit the T instead of a G.
Oh, that is bad.
Yeah.
Although sometimes you say something and then you think, hang on a second, that did not sound how I wrote it in my head.
Mm.
And sometimes I am scared, being a comedian, actually, I'm always scared that I might say something I didn't mean to say. And I don't want to hurt anybody, but it's a real risk. That's why I don't have a Twitter account. Because your ability to humiliate yourself worldwide is right at your fingertips.
Yes, yeah.
Just no, seems too risky.
I did Twitter very early on and just didn't get it. I couldn't get into it. Twitter's the only platform I don't use.
It's not even called that anymore, is it?
X now, isn't it?
For goodness sake.
Yeah.
That's so arrogant.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Although I don't know if I told you, I was on my way to see somebody who was really, really poorly. So I was a little upset and not really myself. So a relative. And I was a bit, low. But being a lady of an age, I'm also really quite hot all the time.
Mm.
So I was wearing, in fact, a dress very similar to this, but I didn't even have a cardigan on because it's flipping freezing now, thanks Storm, whichever one we're on at the moment. But on this particular day, I was driving and I was not wearing any cardigan or anything, just, and it's not exactly naked, is it? But, and I stopped and put petrol in. My daughter was with me, actually. My 15-year-old was with me. being super supportive and leading me astray by buying chocolate. Good job, girl.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. But as we were paying, this man, apropos of absolutely nothing, approached me. And this does happen to women quite a lot, that a man will insert himself in some way into your life. And I don't mind, actually, as long as when you say, no, thank you, they go away.
Mm.
In fact, I find it rather charming that somebody's being friendly, but then a line gets crossed.
Yeah.
But this guy, he came over to be friendly. And he said to me, oh, aren't you cold? And I said, not even a bit. And then he looked me in the eye and said, I want some of your blood. My daughter's like, whatever? And the cashier was like, really? And I said to him, I hope that sounded different in your head. But yeah, that's how I was threatened by a vampire.
Was it daylight?
It was daylight, but he was doing great in the
Might be
daylight.
alright.
He wasn't screaming or
Should be
anything.
alright. Maybe he wasn't being vampiric. Maybe it was a genuine request for your antifreeze type blood.
Yeah, it's just A negative, which does show in my personality, if we're honest. You know, I had a therapist say to me once, well, I had a CPN, a nurse, say to me once, you know, you've got very automatic negative thinking, which means that whenever I'm in a situation, I look at all the bad things that could happen and go, oh no, I can't do that. Right? I'm quite risk averse in some ways.
Mm.
And she said to me, you've got automatic negative thinking. And then we had to go together and I was seeing a psychiatrist because, as you know, I've got like CPTSD. I think. And I was seeing the psychiatrist. She said, how's it going, your relationship with your nurse? And I said, great, apart from the fact that she said I have automatic negative thinking. So I've been having some negative thinking about that, which is the truth. It is the truth. But I don't think there's anything wrong with thinking about risk all the time, is there?
There's a fine line, isn't there? You can see that the downsides of things. That's good. I've got a couple of friends who, and this is one of my favourite words when I first heard this, catastrophize. People who
do like to do that.
catastrophize.
Yeah.
I try to avoid that one myself, but I do know a few people who
It's
do.
so satisfying. No, but you see, I was paid to do this. This was my job in NHS management, was being a risk and resilience. I mean, I once was an international speaker. Yeah, she's blowing her trumpet again. At the International Conference for Counterterrorism. And it was pretty scary, if we're honest, because they had a bunch of really eminent speakers and then me. And I didn't really know why they chose me, but they did. So, you know, that's on them. If they want to be crazy, that's fine.
Why not?
So when I got the list of speakers, we had this like formal dinner the day before where I met all the other speakers. And I was like, oh my God, I was so starstruck because they had the head of the behavioral science unit of the FBI.
Wow.
They had the guy who was in charge of the mission that went to neutralize the weapons of mass destruction in Syria. They had the inventor that built the robot that we now send into potential bomb sites so we don't have to risk our bomb squad. So it could go and have a really good look at things, and it can actually snip wires and stuff like that, so you don't risk personnel. So they had these people and me. And I was there because I'd written a paper on human factors, where I was saying it doesn't matter what your plans look like. They can be beautiful and have a nice font and crisp paper and everything, but if people won't use them, there's no point. So how do you know people are going to use your plans? And I said, well, we don't know. The only thing we can do is best guess based on humans. I said, and humans are motivated by things. And considering that we're humans who have behaved our whole lives, we're really bad at spotting behavior, which is actually true, isn't it?
Yes.
And so I said, to illustrate this, I told a story about my life that is real. So I was living in a little flat in Birmingham. My family was living in Lisbon, and I was doing some work in Birmingham. So I had my own little apartment. And in my little apartment, about 2:00 in the morning, the fire alarm went off. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do? Now, I'm a resilience expert. I used to be a firefighter. I'm one of the people who's most likely to know what to do. But I was very tired. And I'd been woken up from this with this noise, this overwhelming siren. There's a reason sirens aren't supposed to be too loud, by the way, because when they're too loud, they discombobulate humans. We can't think with a huge noise going on.
Hmm.
All I could think about was the noise. So I looked down at what I was wearing, which was a very old and disreputable rugby shirt. And I thought, I can't leave the apartment dressed like this. And I can't think straight enough. I don't possess a dressing gown because I'm away from home.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm just going to stay here and ignore that and hope somebody else turns it off. Literally in an apartment building in Birmingham. So I did. I put the pillow over my head. Eventually somebody turned it off. Turned out somebody upstairs had burnt their toast. So nobody was going to die. But I didn't know that at the time. I was perfectly willing to be grilled to a crisp in my apartment because I was wearing something I didn't want to be seen.
Rather than
yes,
go outside in your scruffs.
Exactly. # human factors, right?
Hmm.
But just to give you something to compare that to, a little while later, I was in a bath. I do love a bath.
Oh,
I'm a very soaky girl.
love a good soak.
Yeah, but I'm also very short-sighted. Okay, so without my glasses on, I'm helpless. Okay, so I was in the bath and I decided I'd had enough submersion and it's time to get out because I was hygienically 100% achieved, like a sim.
Yeah,
The bar was full, time to get out. So I got out and I picked up my towel, which was a nice dark navy color, and part of it seemed to be moving. And I thought, well, that's weird because we know I'm crazy, but am I that crazy? Unlikely to suddenly emerge,
Yeah.
So I brought myself nostril to nostril with a really big spider before I could identify it as a spider. The towel was thrown into the air, spider flying, towel flying, me naked, still a bit soapy drippy, ran across the apartment and I got to the door and I was opening it before my brain caught up with me and went, steady now. You are quite naked. And there was a minute, it was like, okay, quick risk assessment on how fast the spider was likely to get to the door and eat my face. And then obviously my rational brain kicked in and went, it's probably not going to physically attack you at this point. You've shown it who's boss by launching it 8 foot into the air, crushing it against a wall, and then leaving in a flurry of soap bubbles. It's probably not going to fight harder. This is a British spider. In Australia, I think it would be a different conversation.
It's not a face-biting spider, is it?
Well, unlikely, but you don't know, because they lull you into a false sense of security by waving that I'm just a British spider banner. But you don't know if it came over in bananas.
True.
And although I had quite a close encounter with it, I still didn't examine it for its DNA and ancestry.
Yeah.
Could have eaten my face.
Could.
Yeah, but I didn't raise all of that at the conference. I just said that I'd run away and that I was perfectly willing to leave the apartment based on fear of a spider, but also happy to be grilled to a crisp.
Yeah.
And that this should be the basis of our plans, that we don't know what the feck humans are going to do.
Yeah.
But what they will almost certainly do is follow a leader. So that's my illustrious NHS career, where I got to tell stories of my naked self on an international stage.
It's brilliant.
Those days are gone.
Brilliant.
Still looking for a job. Give me a job.
Someone out there, if you've got a job worthy of Ava and her stories of spider terror and nakedness, hook her up.
Tell me I'm not good at risk management. I'm so good at risk management.
My idea of risk management is keeping myself away from people as a rule.
You're not good at that.
Yeah, I know.
All your group selfies are evidence that you're not good at that.
I know. I'm trying my best. I am getting more and more nights a week where I am removing myself from the public face.
Oh, why would you deprive everybody of your public face?
Oh, I have so far this one. It's a bit silly after tomorrow.
Yeah. You're a bit busy.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
So we might as well move on to the section of what are we doing this week?
Oh, what are we doing this week? I don't know that I know.
I'll fill you in on at least 2 things I know you're doing this week.
Okay.
Because you're doing them with me.
That's a rumour.
It's only a rumour. If it isn't true. There's only 2 things I know of that you're doing with me.
Okay.
Put it that way. And we can share them. They're not dodgy.
We can share them. They're not
on
dodgy.
camera. They're
But that
fine.
is a relief.
So tomorrow I'm in Pontypridd for an RCT Pride comedy event fundraiser,
Nice.
which I shall have the pleasure of closing, which is going to be good fun,
Nice work.
with a lovely lineup of comedians as well. And then I've actually got Monday night off.
What?
Yes.
A Monday
Nick.
night?
Nails and eyebrows. It's about that time. Often have a Monday night off. Nothing much happens on a Monday. Then Tuesday night is our wonderful new co-hosted open mic night in the No Sign Bar in Swansea.
Yes. We've got an exciting invited guest.
We have a very exciting invited guest, which we are not sharing with any of you, because if you want to see
'Cause
how
he's
exciting
Ours.
our invited guest is, you have to come and sit and watch, or even sign up if you get there early enough. It is going to be sign up on the night, isn't it?
I believe so.
We may have to be mean if we hit enough people and go, not hit enough people, but if we get to enough
We're not
people,
going to hit anybody.
we might. I know I have a reputation, but we won't be physically hitting people.
No.
But if we have enough people turn up,
We might be thinking of hitting people.
always.
Yes.
Always.
Yes.
But
we won't actually hit people.
what makes us better than most is that we don't follow through on it.
I
That's
sometimes
important
follow
thing.
through, but not usually with hitting.
But not on hitting people. We've just dragged that down into the gutter so quickly.
I have no idea what you mean.
Um,
I just mean I'm committed
Absolutely, yes, you are, and we
to
both,
not hitting
and
people.
we both should be.
But if we do reach enough people signing up,
Yes, we may have to limit time on stage, or limit the number of people that we have on, which will encourage people to turn up earlier next time, I think. So that's Tuesday night taken care of.
Yes.
Wednesday, then, we've got a little road trip down to Bath.
We do have a little road trip.
We are, as the absolute savages, we are doing a little takeover at the Big Squash in Bath, which will
or
be
a big
fun.
takeover.
Big takeover.
We're taking it all.
We're taking it everything.
Nothing
So
left.
we have a whole cavalcade of wonderful female comedians from around Wales and the southwest, including the lovely Ava headlining. I shall be hosting the evening. And then we've got the likes of Jeannie Vowles from Plymouth, who's wonderful.
I've not seen her. I can't wait.
Oh, she is.
I've heard she's marvellous.
Mental. In a lovely, lovely way.
We're going to be such good friends.
Lovely.
Mental's good.
We have Olivia Green.
Yes, I've seen her. She's very good.
What else was on the list? Holly Leggett.
Oh, wow. That's really good.
She's wondrous. Might have to get a couple more bodies in, because we've had a couple of.
We've talked about you and your bodies.
We may have to recruit a couple more performers for the evening.
Oh, still breathing.
Yeah, still breathing.
Oh, no, that's good.
Still
that's
breathing.
Good. Forget I said anything.
So that will be Wednesday night.
That is exciting.
Which will be very exciting and lovely.
Yes.
Thursday night, I will be making my way somewhere around Brecon area for the Black Mountain Comedy Festival.
That's very cool.
Where I shall be on the Fringe stage, which will be hosted by Mike Reed.
Awesome.
Utterly marvellous. And I will be sharing the stage with the likes of Gareth Morris, Carly O'Connor, Paul James.
Okay, excellent.
Pretty amazing lineup.
Yeah.
And then Friday, I've got a new night down the ship in Barry, which I'm co-looking after with the lovely Raheem Mustafa.
Yes.
Or to use his full name, if you speak to any of the ladies on the comedy scene, whether they're comedians or audience members, he does have a full length name.
Does he?
Because if I've often said to people, they've said, "Oh, who's you gigged with this week?" I'll say, reel off names. I'll be like, "Oh, Raheem. Ooh, he's gorgeous." So I do believe his full name is Raheem. Ooh, he's gorgeous Mustafa.
Okay.
According to any of the ladies on the comedy scene.
Well, we wouldn't want to get his name wrong.
So you've got to get these things right, haven't you? And then Saturday, to round off the month, I will be at the Newport Comedy Festival.
Nice.
I've got a little 4 o'clock show with Craig McLeod, Olivia Green, and a new chap called Rob, who I haven't met yet, and I can't remember his surname. But that's going to be a lovely little show, and I'm going to be closing out on it with my work in progress show,
Nice.
which hopefully I've pulled the rubbish bit out of and replaced it with something less rubbish. You can but dream.
We'll see what the audience thinks.
Yes, and then I'm in the Tickle Trout in the evening
Nice.
in Newport, so that will round off my month nicely
Yes.
before the craziness of February ensues.
Yeah, February's going to be pretty mad.
I think we're getting close to buying a camper van, I think, and just living in that. Pick you up on the way to whatever we need to go to for the next few days, then it's easier that way, I think.
It'll certainly work for Edinburgh.
Yes.
Yeah. We hope.
Oh, talking of Edinburgh. Talking of Edinburgh, it's only a week tomorrow. 2 weeks tomorrow.
Yes.
This is for you comedians. Listen, sign up. Book now. We have a wonderful workshop hosted by the utterly fantastic Bennett Aaron, who will be talking us through all the pitfalls and to-dos and not to-dos of going to the Edinburgh Festival as an act.
Yeah, I think because we were talking about this, weren't we? How we've not been to Edinburgh and we don't really know what works and what doesn't work. It is apparently a different environment.
Yeah.
And we are not sure about how that affects our approach, what work we need to put in, how you miss out the pitfalls. And a lot of people that we know that have been to Edinburgh have come back and said it was one of the worst experiences.
Yeah.
And we really want to help people avoid that.
Yeah.
So we're so lucky Bennett's agreed, because he's obviously an industry great. His show was one of the most highly rated last year. Why would you not want to spend a day with him talking through what works and what doesn't work, and the difference between the way you plan your material for your general stand-up and how you plan it for Edinburgh?
Yeah.
And, there's certain things people like me, I'm not good at leafleting.
Yeah.
I'd have to go in a chair, and apparently it's a really hilly setting.
Yeah.
I'm not going to consign anybody to pushing me up hills. So, how you get success when things aren't quite that simple, I think we'll be asking him to address as well.
Absolutely. It's such an important thing. So many people go into it blind. There's not a lot of info out there readily available. But then on the flip side of that, if you ask 10 different comedians, they will tell you 10 different things.
Yes.
Yeah, because everyone's done it different. Everyone's got different experiences, found different ways of doing things. You're never going to get a consistent approach with something like that.
Yeah.
So if you've got someone like Bennett who has done Edinburgh once or twice and he's had great success up there, and I'm sure he's had great non-success as well.
Well, I think he'll certainly know people
points.
who've really struggled, and it has a horrible mental health impact on people when they've not done well there. So I think it's really important that we try and find resources that help and support people.
Yes, absolutely.
Before we go.
So it's an absolute bargain.
It is a bargain.
It's £50.
But that does include a wonderful lunch.
That includes a lovely, lovely Sunday lunch at wonderful No Sign Bar in Swansea. And I'll be honest, one of my favourite places to eat.
Yeah, it is. It's got an amazing reputation.
It's superb.
It's really lovely inside.
Utterly superb.
So hopefully we'll see you there.
Yes.
We'll share the event link after this.
We will share the event link again. If you're really unlucky, we might share our wonderful thrown together adverts that we did
We're so
last
good
week.
at this.
We're so good. I think that's us, isn't it? So
I think it is.
Until next time.
Yeah.
She's been Ava.
And she's been Abby.
And we are
Absolute Savages.
Yours savagely. Good night.
Good night.